All right, so we're going to jump into reservations. And again, just like to start off each one of these tutorials, to remind you that once you log in, you can jump into the projects page here, and you'll see this interface, and then you have reservations and logout. So again, producer status, your projects, create new projects. They're active, so I have the ability to submit a show for each. I see my shows here. I see my reservations, all the upcoming each individual equipment or space. I see my certifications here, and then I see my classes here. So the reservation system, the form that you see through this link, is based on your certifications. So once you complete a class, you pass a test, we, on the back end, give you a certification. So again, if you take Studio Upgrade, you get Studio 1, Studio Intro, Studio 2, Camera for FS5 class for the Sony FS5. Audio Series 1 gives you access to all of the audio equipment, so you'll see those listed here as you take classes, and then that determines what gear you can see on the reservations tab. So when you are using the portal, it's really going to be usually two things. You're going to come in, and then once you've initially created a project, you're just going to be adding a show once you're ready to submit content. And then you're going to be making a reservation when you want to reserve a space or a piece of equipment or multiple pieces of equipment. So I'm going to jump over to reservations. So on the reservations page, first question is project. So again, this is kind of a filing system. So on the back end, we'll be able to see what reservations you have under each project. So I'm going to pick Doug's Football Show. Start date. So this is where using Google Chrome comes in helpful. I had some issues with Safari on this, but there is an arrow if you hover over the far right. There's an arrow for a calendar to drop down. So if we want to pick, let's say Wednesday, May 23rd, we want to do a reservation. So as soon as I check that, it populates here, and then I can also arrow up and down if I want to there. So click on whichever one, I can arrow up and down. And then I can click in here, and this is the time. So as soon as I hit, let's say we open at 4 p.m., and then we close at midnight. So those are your parameters. It will tell you if I try to make a reservation, let's say for 3 o'clock this day. So I hit 3, and it populates 03. I'm going to hit 0, it populates double zeros. And over here, I'm going to hit P, just a lowercase p, and it populates PM. As soon as I do that, it says up here, error, rentals can't have a start, so this reservations can't have start or end dates that aren't within Austin public operating hours. Start time should be between 4 p.m. and 11:45. End time should be between 4 p.m. and 11:45. Super helpful. This is something that wasn't, or that is not currently on the system that we're using, just those forms. So it'll tell you, it'll prevent you from picking a time outside of our operating hours. So once I see that, I'm like, okay, cool. I'll pick 4 o'clock, that error goes away. And you'll see here that as soon as I pick a date and time, it auto-populates over here 30 minutes later. 5/23/2018, 5/23/2018, 4 p.m., 4:30, automatically. So if you want, you can click here, arrow up, 2-3 days, however long you want to check out that gear. You can leave it a half hour later, it's fine with me, or you can just zero it out to be 4 p.m., 4 p.m. So right now I'm working with a 24-hour reservation from 5:23 to 5:24. Good to go, no error messages, it's within our hours of operation. You have a search function here, and I can show you that in a second, but you can type in anything, just kind of a keyword, hit enter, or hit the search button, and it'll actually just populate the gear that that keyword matches in these categories. So you'll see that on this person that I created, this account, I have these categories here. You may not see all of these. You may see more than these. It just depends on your certifications. So if you remember that this person, I don't want to go back because I don't want to lose this information, but if you remember, this person has only taken the Canon 5D class and media policy. So that means that if I drop down the cameras, it only shows the 4 Canon 5D Mark IIIs that we own. And if I drop down, let's say, production spaces, It only shows the edit lab and the conference room that this person has access through the media policy class. And then field audio equipment, it's only going to show the field audio equipment that they've been given certification for through the Canon 5D class. So the on-camera Rode mics, the Zoom H6 audio recorders, the accessory kits for those. Lenses and adapters, it's only going to show the Canon zoom lenses. It's not going to show any of the prime lenses or anything. That would be a certification through the cinematography class. Tripods and monopods, it's going to show everything we have because you get all of them through the Canon 5D class. So again, if you've taken the grip and rigs class, you've taken the studio classes, you've taken audio, lighting, you would see everything here. So I am missing a lighting. I'm missing a lighting category. I'm missing a grip and rigs category. So just know whatever certification you've taken or been given, that will then populate gear. So you might see, if you've taken all 3 camera classes, you're going to see every single camera that we own. All right, so it lists the equipment name, the COA number, which is the City of Austin number. So this is actually the sticker that's on the equipment that is tagged by the City of Austin. It's all City of Austin equipment. This is going to tell the equipment staff person which camera or which piece of equipment to go grab in the equipment room. And then a short description here, and then you have your checkbox here to check off which one you want to take or which one you want to reserve for the time, start time and end time up here. The system does not limit you to 1 camera. You are limited to 1 camera, that's our policy, unless you're multicam certified with the NX cams. But I could check all 4 of these, it'll let me, but just know that you're going to get an email from Charles saying, hey, you can't have all 4 cameras. So you get 1 camera, and then I can drop down this field audio equipment. Let's say that I want a Zoom H6, and I want an accessory kit for it. You can see here in the description, 2 gig SD card, windscreen, mini USB cable, and also the hard case. Lenses and adapters, I want 1 of these. There's 1 per camera, so I only get 1. Production spaces I'm not using. I'm not taking this gear anywhere. I'm taking it outside the building. Tripods and monopods. I'm going to hide that. Tripods and monopods. I just want a Sachtler tripod, so I'm just going to pick 1 here. And a good rule of thumb, or just something to remember, is that most people probably will check the top one. So if you don't want to have a conflict when you check availability down here, you could just probably check something that's a little bit lower down. You'll just kind of figure out kind of what works and what doesn't, but it's going to show you everything. The gear that's listed here, it hasn't been checked for availability, so this is everything that we own. What you're checking for the conflict grid is down here. So as I've been clicking these things, it's been showing up down here under my reservations. So if I uncheck this tripod, you'll see that it disappeared from the list, and if I check another one, you'll see that it does show up here. So I can click and remove it here as well. So I can click and remove it there. And then it minimized all these, but I can drop this down again for tripods, and I can check that again, and then it adds it again. So this is all the gear that I've selected in here on these blue check boxes. Then it says check availability. So I'm going to click this and check availability. It'll look in the system, and it says everything's available. I'll show you what it looks like when it's not, but everything is currently available. So good to go. I'm going to hit confirm. All right, so I just want to review this project, start time, end time. For right now, this is important. I don't know if you want to screen grab this and save these or make your own calendar, but if you saw back when I was on the projects page, the list of your reservations only shows the start date and end date. It does not show the time currently. So that is something that we do want to change in further development of the portal. So the time is important for you to remember. All right, then equipment, it'll list all the equipment here. And then this will autofill from the back end, from the database. So you should have a phone number, you should have a street address, city, county, state, all this stuff. So this is my my information here. So Bob Test is just the name I gave this person and my email. So I'm gonna hit submit. And then I now says success, your reservation has been logged and it's pending approval. So we can now get back out of this here. So no need to submit, it's already been submitted. It'll give you an error message. So I hit project, and I can drop down my reservations, and you'll see that my reservations here for that May 25th are right here. So tripod, 5D, lens, Zoom H6, and accessory kit. They're showing up as pending. Once Charles approves them, they'll be approved, and once you've completed this reservation, it's checked in, it'll disappear from this list. So again, it gets a little cluttered, but you can just look at the times here. So I have a May 16th conference room reservation. I have May 23rd for these few items here, and then May 25th. And then as they're checked in, they'll disappear from the list. It's only going to show your upcoming reservations.